Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload is going to be a video about the upcoming pattern. Now this one's going to be a tough one as we have a lot of signals that were mixed and still are slightly mixed, and the 3 to 4 week outlook is coming out tomorrow, or as I'm recording this tomorrow. Well, actually I'm recording 12:10 in the morning, a little bit late, but it's already Friday. This will be released Friday during the day, so the 3 to 4 week outlook will be coming out. We could, look at that. But overall, it looks like some of the things have cleared up, and we're looking at more of a clear more clear definition of what's to come. So I'll explain all of that in today's video. So consider subscribing, consider liking this video if you like these type of videos and you like this channel. Really means a lot, and I really love your guys' support. So thank you so much. I look forward to my part of my day every day. I look forward to the recording of the video, as it's really fun and relaxing. So first thing I want to point off is just look at the AO and NAO outlook. Also, I've been losing my voice for no reason, and I'm not really sick. I just have been losing my voice. We'll see about that. But notice that the AO is actually showing, which basically the AO, what you have to know is when it's negative, there's more chances, and it's pretty likely that there will be some colder air across the eastern U.S., while the positive is a ridging across most of the United States. So notice how right now it's in the semi-positive area. That was associated with a little bit of warming, but notice how this thing just crashes down in the next time to come, and this is what sends us into an Arctic outbreak. So notice we're looking at the GFS right now, and we are looking at some chillier temperatures. Notice Saturday 14th, 15th, 16th. We notice a chill going on across the country marked by these lower heights. That means that it's cooler in atmosphere. Then, however, we get some of these warmer colors coming in, and they stick around for quite a while, which is marked by the AOs going up in the positive. Some are, a little bit more reluctant with that, but those that do go up eventually come down. And they come down pretty darn far. So, some of the models are showing some pretty large significance right there. So, what would that mean? Well, you could see that after this warming trend, which could actually be for quite a while, around at Christmas time, 24th, 25th, there could be a big pattern change in terms of a much cooler air mass and a whole pattern breakup. So that could be interesting, as we haven't seen that earlier before. And if you were to look at this, the other models, I'll show you in just a minute what I mean, but let's first look at the NAO. So the NAO is very similar. When it's negative, it kind of behaves like the Arctic Oscillation. They kind of usually go hand in hand. Notice it also drops around that 16th of December. It really just bottoms out, and that basically indicates, that, again, that cooling of the air, we'll have a cooler air mass, and you can see even the European supports that, which, you remember, was like was kind of bickering with the GFS earlier on, and you can see it shows cooler temperatures. Then we see that warm up, and notice that the European has it warming up to quite a big extent right here. But that is around that 240 time frame, and then NAO would be again indicated by that positive upbringing, and that positive upbringing would then be followed by a downward spiral. You can notice that it's not like a crash. Well, some models are showing a crash, but it's a general downward trend. So what that would mean is a cooling trend after this, and that's what the GFS is showing. The European doesn't go out that far. It only goes out to the 22nd. This is showing around the 30th of December, around January 1st. This and the European only goes out to December 22nd, so we really only have the GFS to look at. So see, again, the GFS agrees with the European on the warm up. It's just the European doesn't go out as far as the GFS does. And if you look at the Climate Prediction Center 8 to 14 day outlook, notice that for the 20th through the 26th, which is, this minor little upward trend, you can see the mark there, and then by the NAO or the AO going up as well, that would be some warmer conditions for the country. Now this wouldn't be long lived, maybe for 4 to 5 days maximum, as I'm pretty sure if the Climate Prediction Center were to, have an outlook 14 to 20 days, which is a 3 to 4 week outlook, which they usually have. I think they'll release it today as you're watching this video on a Friday. So we'll see, but it will be, I think, on the cooler side of things, looking towards a January breakthrough, kind of like, around the New Year's time. Notice, though, 6 to 10 outlook, 18th through the 22nd. Before that, we have that colder air, and really the warmer air is only starting to build in the west. We still have that chillier air in the east. So the pattern to come is interesting. We're looking at a cool shot of air from about the, say right now the 13th up until, I would say, the 16th, the 17th of December. Then we start getting into a warming trend around the 19th, 20th, really kicking in, and this could continue all the way up until Christmas Day or even a little bit past, and then after that it looks as if things are going downhill again. So that's like that brief rundown of things and what they're looking like. Now if you were to look at say the CFS Weekly, which is basically a extremely long-range model, which usually has a cold or a warm bias. It's showing a little bit of similarities between these things. Notice that around the time of 19 through the 26th, it shows a warm-up right there. It may be a possible positive PNA associated with some cooling across the west, however, warming across the east. Then we see across the 26th through the 2nd, we see a cooling pattern, which is what the NAO and the AO are indicative of. And, that's pretty cool to note. Notice that after that, we see a more modest pattern, but nothing really warm. And we see more kind of based on the cool temperatures across the eastern U.S. And if you were to look at the CFS temperature anomaly, some of the things it's showing are pretty insane, but given it's a long-range model, that's the things we'll expect with that. So as of now, the thing is that they're agreeing even on the slightest level. That's already impressive. Again, notice that if we were to look at the latest European model, and if I were to show you the height anomaly, only goes out to hour 96, but again, it initially has that cold air masses, and then only potentially later on showing only later on possibly showing that warm up, and then if we were to get into the really long range beyond this, we'd probably show a cool off. Now, I could quickly show you right now what the European is talking or mentioning about the storm. That second system across the Midwest. I had quite a bit of comments about that, and notice that it brings it up further north than it did earlier, but it doesn't bring it up to the same level as a GFS. So this one will still be a 1-2 monitor and has it in a much weaker phase. But overall, again, cool up until the 20th, then up until the 26th, warmth. And then after that, we get more of a cool-off. That's what it seems like as of now to be occurring. And, I was looking at the teleconnections as I usually do every day. And I noticed that, again, these teleconnections and the models are actually agreeing for once, which is impressive. And notice that, again, if you look at the trends, it's a down, up, and then it down again, and that matches basically perfectly what the weather models are showing in a rough sense, pretty far out, but gives us a better idea of what might be to come. So the pattern looks very interesting, possibly snowy and cold, and just something to keep an eye out for. If you were to type in negative NAO pattern, I want to quickly show you this. I typed negative wrong, I know. If we were to look at this, I want to show you what the difference is between a positive and a negative. So you can see a positive usually means the colder air is more locked up to the north. Let's see if I can click on this image and make it bigger. This is associated with a website, so let's just go back to this. Hopefully you could see this. Notice that we see essentially a sorry about that, I keep losing this. We see colder air locked up to the north and a jet stream kind of going through the central northern U.S., not really getting into the eastern or southern U.S., and there's warm air across the south and the central part of the country. While the negative one is just complete opposite. You can see Arctic air is just intruding, and that's what we will be seeing up until the 20th. and then possibly after the 26th, it could be seeing cold air again. And it's still very far out, but that's what it's looking as of right now. And the AO, let's search up negative AO pattern. Very, very similar, if not basically identical. You can notice that when it's negative, this is basically what it looks like. Below normal Arctic blast, have a higher chance for snows and yeah, so for snows and big storms, Alberta Clippers, all of that good stuff is more favored with a negative AO and a negative NAO. Here's another one. And you can see negative phase. So thank you guys so much for watching. Consider liking this video. Consider subscribing to this channel. It really means a lot. Again, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for subscribing. And thank you for watching. See ya.